How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of FSI's NASCAR DFS content. We're doing some DraftKings picks for Xfinity Series at Martinsville. I am your host, TK Nation 47, joined by Mega Roller 31. Mega, how was your weekend off and in all your Easter plans? I got my Easter shirt still on, still rocking the pink and purple for the photo ops. But yeah, how did your Easter go and how did your week off go?
It seems like forever since we've had NASCAR, but I've been busy grinding away, coaching baseball for FSI, and we started the season just right before Easter weekend, so it's been fun and challenging, and EuroLeague's wrapping up, so almost came in third in they really downsized the GPP. It used to be like a 10 entry max, 1,000 to first place, and today it was like a 3 max, $200. I came in third, so one of my best finishes of the season, like probably one of the smallest contests they could possibly have. But no baseball, so looking forward to getting back into NASCAR and away from that dirt stuff and back on a solid surface. So.
Man, we didn't even get a chance to talk about that last week. The dirt race I felt like a disaster from a DFS perspective.
From a fan, it was great, but from DFS, It was hard.
DFS, what a nightmare. Nothing you can predict about Bristol dirt. Yeah, as a fan, sure, it was really cool. I like the racing. I thought it was really cool to see like the actual real cars and not some modified car on a dirt track. But yeah, from a DFS angle and betting perspective, holy smokes, we'll have to approach that race a little differently come next year when it comes to bankroll. Of course, they'll have awesome sizes, pool sizes, but whatever. We'll cross that bridge when it gets there.
Yep.
Okay, we have the Cookout 250, 250 laps for the Xfinity Series at Martinsville. The paperclip, better known here at Martinsville, one of the smallest tracks on the circuit.
So I brought my buddy Bert and his paperclip.
Yeah, we have to address that. We have Bert and his paperclip collection going on. Mega never a dull moment here with Mega. Okay, so let's jump into some picks. Let's just start off with this pole sitter like we always do. Harrison Burton at 9,300. This is a Burton track, as you had just told me.
Yeah, it's his home track. He does very well here. Last year, his average running position was 2.7. So a little bit of a disappointing start to the season. There are a lot of places where I thought he'd be, optimal and played him. And, he ended up like crashing or having like issues. But I think this is the point where I like that he's out there. This is going to be a race where we're going to need to find dominators. You have 250 laps. And you need to get out front because it's not hard or impossible to pass. But we've seen with the setup of these cars the last couple of races, minus Bristol, but they didn't race in the dirt race. The cars that are out there, they get the clean air, they get out front, just take off, and it's hard to catch them. So I like him to be able to probably get out there and lead early. Great team, Joe Gibbs Racing. So. Yeah, definitely. And I like the price too. He's only 9.3, where some of the other guys here are over 10K.
I think that's what DraftKings did. They baited us into this 9,300 price tag. They think, okay, you're going to get some studs that they can probably finish with some good place differential, some lead laps, some fastest laps because they got really good equipment. And then they're going to sucker you into this Harrison Burton price. I'm weary and nervous about it because most pole sitters don't dominate races, especially when they're not typically the fastest cars week in and week out. Like, as we'll probably get to them later, but you have drivers like Allmendinger and Cindric, they just have had better cars this year. And even Allgeier, starting in second has got ahead about a run position. So I'm just a little nervous about Harrison Burton. I certainly am going to have some exposure to him, as you had mentioned, home track and everything. So you can't ignore the statistics and, the good play that it is. I'm just nervous. So I think I'm going to stick to GPPs with that. But yeah, we have Justin Allgaier at 10-2. What are your thoughts on him starting second? He does look like he has decent history here.
Yeah, for me, he's more the GPP. I would take the almost $1,000 discount on Burton here.
You sold on Burton. Yeah.
So,
but with so Allgeier's so we're just basically flip-flopped on the two on Allgeier and Burton.
Yeah, but clearly the guy in third is probably the one that's going to pass both of them and get out there. He is a really good road course racer. A lot of the principles with the braking and the corners and everything translate very well on this. He's run this track very well over the years. He's got a huge notebook, which he actually, shared with some of his teammates, and it seemed like the Kahlua cars did pretty well last couple of races here. So, Allmendinger is the most expensive guy, and probably for a good reason, because if Burton or Allgeier don't get out there, he definitely, he'll lead at some point. He'll get dominating points. So, can he keep it clean on pit road? Can, the restarts and everything, so many things can happen, but I definitely see him, you've got a lot of good options up here. So you're going to have to figure out which one you want to draw your line in the sand. Or, if we said many times, the strategy is find your 3-4 core guys that have a little bit of place differential, a little bit of solid floor, and just rotate these guys up top. And, eventually one of them will be the right one. And, hopefully you'll cash on that line and you won't lose too much. If you're going in like the chrome horn or whatever, like the $3.20 max, rotate like 2 of these studs up top with your 4 other guys of the balance. And then, do like a bunch of combinations through the 20 lineups, and you're only going to lose $60, but if you win $100 or so, if you hit it, you're looking good.
Yeah, you're trying to find the quote unquote nuts when it comes to 20 entry max, and I do the exact same thing. I try to find core plays within like each tier, a high price tier, mid tier, and then a value play. I try to, and that's spoiler alert, something we do for core lineups that we do here at FSI. If you want to find that link, join our Twitter handle at fsidfs.com. You can find that link in the bio. You get that core lineup, and you get some advice and projections from Mega and I. But anyway, plug over. I'm with you on Allmendinger. I don't know what more you need to say. I think you pretty much nailed it. Just sucks he's 11.9. The price tag will get you. So we're going to need value, which we'll get to later. I think I'm fading this next driver, Daniel Hamrick, at 10.8. I just don't think he's going to fit into the builds for me this week.
Well, here's the problem. He has the car and the talent to do very well in this race.
Yeah.
However, he punched Noah Gragson in the face after Noah Gragson, a professional NASCAR driver who drives for a living, backed his car accidentally into Hamrick on pit road in the last race that they ran in Atlanta. And then at the end of the race, Hamrick came and confronted him in the pits and punched him in the face.
I forgot that happened.
I don't know what Grayson's problem is this year. He's tangled with more drivers. You know what I think it is? He's like, some guests didn't show up for Thanksgiving dinner. So there's some seats at the big kids table, and he didn't get one of them. So he's stuck with like the bedwetters, still at the little kid table there. And he's insanely jealous because other guys got to move on to the Cup Series and he didn't get a ride. And now he's stuck here with these guys. And I think it's just his way of kind of throwing a temper tantrum. Whereas Cindric chose to stay down here and, is doing really good things with the opportunity. And hopefully we'll get in a really premium ride, in the near future. I just don't think he understands the correct way to get up to the big show.
Yeah, I think if he doesn't drive for Junior, he's going to be stuck with some small team in Cup. I don't think there's
many Priest next year.
Yeah, I mean,
he'll be like front row or something.
Priest is doing better than I think Gragson could do anyway. But I think Gregson's going to get stuck in like a I don't know, Roush Racing or something silly like that. He's going to get pinned with
Roush used to be good, like with Mark Martin and everything. It's just
once Mark Martin left, it was pretty much over for Roush. And then they had Greg Biffle for a while. It was It was ugly.
He was a good truck driver. But anyways,
That's
back to
yeah.
the regular schedule program. So that's a no on Hamrick.
No for me too.
Justin Haley, he's a Kahlua car. I could see him as a GPP. He's only 8,800.
I like the price tag. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah. Cindric, I think he'll be highly owned. I don't know. Like hasn't had a good history. He did well at Phoenix, which is a short track, but not like necessarily like this type of short track. There's really no track that's comparable to this one.
No.
But overall, his record isn't great, but like he's really defied expectations this year. Although the couple times where he's like run into a car and run into some trouble. So
yeah, he's had some unluck. He's some bad luck.
Yeah, I'll have some of him, but I don't think he'll be like my primary one. I prefer Allmendinger, I think, just with everything going on. Riley Hurst,
you do get a couple extra place differential points, but yeah, I think Allmendinger's chance to dominate is higher.
Riley Hurst in the Stewart Haas car, the 98 to Chase Briscoe was in last year. I just don't think he's driven it to its potential this year and had some bad luck. Yeah, I think he's a driver. And but 82, I mean, I kind of I think he can get a top 5 finish, so I'm okay with that. And then the other half of the beef battle here, Noah Grayson,
I'm out on this guy too.
Yeah, he's way too aggressive.
Yep. Too expensive for his style of driving.
Yeah. Myatt Snyder, the Richard Childress car, he's done good. I think he won here in the truck series, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, he's got a win under his belt this year. He's a good driver. He's
having a good season.
Yeah, and he had some bad luck after that, which kind of knocked him down a little bit. But at 77, I could see playing him in cash there.
Yep.
And then Michael Annett finishing out the top 10. I think he's starting way too far forward. So he's a fade for me.
Yeah, I gotta know I like my boy Clements right here next up.
Yes. Yeah, and definitely like him in cash too. I think he can be like a 5-6x play. I have him. My projection has him finishing second, which I think might be a little bit high.
But, he's got a good car though this year. Really does.
Oh, actually, no, sorry. I have 2 place differential points, so I have him finishing 9th. But that's good.
That's perfect.
That's what we're looking for.
That's what I expect.
Yeah, Sieg is way too expensive. 9,600.
Yeah, that was a fade for me too.
This guy is experiments he's like the mad scientist, and one day he's going to get it correct and have the strategy. But it seems like every time he does, there's a caution that just completely resets everything, and then he's going back 17 places in the blink of an eye because everybody's passing him on fresher tires. So
he's too risky for me if this far up.
Yeah. I kind of like Jeb Burton too.
I do too. I actually like him more than Harrison.
Yeah, with the place differential and knowing the track pretty well also.
Yep, exactly. And he's going to be stuck in between Clements and Ty Gibbs, who is who's, spoiler alert, the next driver up here starting 16th, Ty Gibbs.
Yeah, you guys can skip Castle and Williams. On the wrong
I had no interest, but I think that group of drivers are going to make a really good push to the front. Potentially after the Hamrick and Gregson battle begins,
if he can avoid that, then he's a quick study. This car is awesome. Truex finished second in it in Atlanta. It probably could have won the race if have some bad brakes. Not literally bad breaks, but some bad brake. Well, it's the same word. Never mind. I can't spell. Not even going to pretend to be able to. But anyways, gotta love those homonyms. So, but definitely Ty Gibbs, young driver. He's so high priced though. I don't know if he's going to be a priority for me. Like some of these other races where he was starting way back, and I'll have him definitely mixed in my dominator pool. But
I think if you're going with Harrison Burton or Justin Allgeier, I think Ty Gibbs is a perfect driver to have starting here in 16th. You try to think he's going to get forward to the top 5, top 8. You could maybe turns in some fastest laps as well, because we know that car is really fast.
Mhm.
So I think in your more balanced builds that don't include
I think he won
Allmendingers,
here like in
Cindric,
a late model race or something.
there was one tonight. I have yet to look at the results. I'm not sure if Ty
Yeah,
was in
this
that or
was in the
not.
past, but maybe
Okay.
he ran tonight.
Yeah, well, maybe we should have been looking at that, but no, I think it was going on while we were getting ready for this. But yeah, Ty Gibbs, I'm certainly going to be in the player pool tomorrow. Cover guy, Gator called him a 12-year-old when I asked him for the cover. He's like, "This kid's 12." So I was like, no comment.
No, the 12-year-old I think is like, who was it? Like Stephen Parsons. Like there's one of the guys that I was looking at is like barely a teenager when I was trying to find. They had no like loop data to put in my model, so I'm like trying to find stuff, and I was like, wow, these guys are like my son's older than a couple of them. Crazy. I could be their
Oh,
father.
oh God.
Anyways,
All right,
as we move on,
back to the regular scheduled program.
yeah,
What
Tommy
we got?
Barnes, I don't mind, but I think he's going backwards. I think we like him better in the 20s. Timmy
Yeah.
Hill, I think that's the 66 has been questioned. It had the Whataburger, I think, sponsorship for it. So if it continues to be sponsored, like it's not horrible at 47, but it's still a bit risky. Jesse Little, friend of the program last year, still starting too high. I like him
Yeah.
down further. So the cars behind them, I think there's a solid line of GPPs and like Howard Jones.
I got Brandon Brown circled.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, I missed him. Yeah. Yeah.
7K.
Starting 19th. Yeah.
Starting 19th.
That's a cash play at $7,000.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a solid play.
I
Brandon
have
Brown
actually
circled.
going up finishing 12th. So, it's 7 place differential points. And I think top
Yeah.
15 is definitely in the
I do
realm of
too.
possibilities for him.
He's been good.
Brandon Gadovic, I think he ran some cup. Like
He was in that Bristol dirt race. He ended up getting taken out.
Yeah.
Supposedly he's a dirt course ringer, but the team decided to bring him back on for Martinsville after last week. He's kind of expensive. I don't know what to
75. I
expect.
was gonna say, like,
Yeah.
if he was like 55 or maybe 6 or even 6,
Yeah.
I think he's like 1,000 too high. But
Exactly.
GPP, I mean, he could pay off if he can get up into the top 10.
I'd rather play Clements and Jeb Burton,
Yeah.
but if I'm trying to make 150 lineups or something silly like that, sure, I'll have some Gadovic in there, but he might not make my pool.
Would you pay $9,000 for 10 differential points? Because that's what we have with Brett Moffitt.
I think. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I think I'd rather have.
You probably can get into 17th.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if Harrison Burton can lead 50 laps and still finish inside the top 5, I'd rather have that upside than Moffitt. Just
for what, 800 more? Yeah.
Yeah, than banking on Moffitt to actually produce for me in a car that I don't think is sponsored.
I got a better deal for you.
All right.
How about 8,000 for 10 differential points? Does that sound better?
Sounds a lot better. Is he going to run through? Is he going to take is he going to hit the dirt ramp this week? Yeah.
That car went up and that was, if you did not see, was that Atlanta where
that was Atlanta? Yeah.
Oh,
Atlanta.
wow.
He hit the dirt ramp.
I've never seen a car smack an infield and implode like that. Oh, you thought okay, he's just going to go through the grass and spin out a little bit and he's going to be perfectly fine. But it just destroyed that car.
I mean, when they panned to the infield, it was literally 6 feet off the ground. It was oh my God, no wonder he took out half the infield. Poor guy. And he's getting beat up on social media too, because it's like a week after he gave somebody the double birds. So he was getting
that was Verducci, right? He's not even in this race.
He's not in this race, no.
Yeah, so.
I like Barry though. Starting 29th, that's a good spot. And he's not too expensive either, and I'm not going to overthink it.
Decent car. I think 4.5.
Yeah.
Is definitely
did we talk about Brandon Jones? I didn't know if we had any good information. I know he's extremely volatile, but he is still in a Gibbs car starting 24.
Yeah, I have him finishing My model has him finishing top 10, which I don't think, he's a Gibbs car and everything. And if he doesn't run into trouble with these other cars around him, if he can get around the problems, which, he does have a faster car, a better team. So, I think he's definitely one. I might still keep him as a GPP, just with the price being more expensive than Harrison Burton, and around some bad cars. And I don't think he could lead he might be in the perfect position to get play differential, and he is one that could potentially lead this race and get some of those.
Yeah. I think what we want out of Ty Gibbs is something that Brandon Jones can do too for $600 less. I think those are like kind of the similar stories. I do think Ty Gibbs can finish higher when it comes, like I actually expect more. This is weird. I expect more consistency from a Ty Gibbs in his car than I would from Brandon Jones because of how often he DNPs. Does that make any sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so I struggle with that, but I can understand the play. There is a value play here in these high 20s. You got interest in Groff?
Yeah, I think Groff and Jade Burton, one's 5,400, one's 5,000.
Buford?
I have them as cash plays. I think that they are ones that can finish where they start, or at least get maybe 5 differential points. I can see them in the low 20s, like maybe 23, 22, passing some of the people there, like maybe a Kobe Howard, a Jesse Little, a Timmy Hill, Jeffrey Earnhardt, Landon Castle. So there's at least 5 cars that they can move up on.
Yeah. And then, there's going to be some wrecks at some point. This is Martinsville.
So 2 more spots.
Right. Well, I mean, this is Martinsville too. If a guy spins out, there's not that much room up the track like there is at Bristol. Like at Bristol, you got some room to spin out and kind of just stay up on the top lane. When you spin out at Martinsville, you're hitting the wall. So, there's not that much room to move. And there's going to be some guys by default finishing in the back end of this field. So other than that, what else do we have for guys down here at the bottom for value plays? I'm not seeing any high price.
Yaley, I really like.
Yeah.
He's a former Cup driver. He's got tons of experience at this track, and I actually have him up in potentially maybe in the top 15. He is 73, so it's a little bit, but I think he might be the highest X value play that
I have him starred. Yep.
That you can get starting 33, and I think definitely. His average running position at this track is 17.
Yep.
So, I can see him cracking the top 20, and he's kept these cars clean here. And I believe like this year, he has 2 races. He's finished both of them. And actually every race he's run at this track, he's finished 2. I don't think he has any DNFs here. Let me just verify that. Yeah. So actually, the 2 races in Xfinity at this track, his average running position is actually 11.5. So
it looks like Bert is just looking in on what you're looking at. So it's like, and it looks like Bert's like, I can't believe it. No, I'm sorry. It's just silly moment from me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I would fade everybody below him, like Star Vargas Mills, George Gotham Jr. in the 90. It sounds like a start in park. Like if we get more information on him, we'll throw it in the comments, or that's why you need to be on our Discord, because if we have any late breaking news on these guys, then we're gonna let you know. Gray Golding, I'm okay with. I think he's a good driver, but I don't know about the equipment.
Equipment's been bad this year.
Yeah, and then Parsons in the McLeod car, which is always scary. But then we have Matt Jaskol finishing or starting 40th, and the real about 40th drivers is they could be a cash play because they have no play. They're not going to ever lose you any points.
5,300 too.
Right, and there's some guys here like David Starr hasn't had speed all year, and Matt Mills and stuff, that if not really knowing about this guy, he's driving the 13 Toyota for M&M Motorsports. So
okay,
just Hey, again, not sure, but if you have like not enough for, if you are to use like some of the other guys and take him over Kyle Weatherman or Blaine Perkins or
I think if you want to try something crazy and do like Allmendinger Cendric or like Allmendinger Gibbs and then another 9K driver, and you need like an extra 5K play because you're already playing someone like Buford or Groff, you could throw Joskell in there. It's just like your sixth driver in a lineup where you're fitting like multiple 11K,
and I'm
10K
saying
plays.
he's so much a better play than Little and Curley and
Yeah,
Weatherman and Perkins, who are just, a few hundred below him. So
right. Yeah, I'd rather take my shot on the 40th guy with the thought that there's going to be a couple wrecks. Some of the guys are starting and parking or like they have engine issues. As long as he can finish a race, I think he could finish with 6 or 7 place differential points. And down there in the below 5K, it could work out in a different kind of optimal strategy. So it makes sense.
yep.
Well, that'll be the whole field. And
Yep.
I'm looking forward to this race. It's good to get some cars back on the track in my life. Break up the the golf noise that has been filling my
And we're both
airwaves
dealing with white balls right now.
yeah, yes, it's going to be good to hear the rumble of the engines again. Thank you, Mega, for jumping in late here this evening and talking some Xfinity. We'll get to the NASCAR Cup Series tomorrow for the Saturday night Martinsville race. Mega, anything else to add?
No, like I said, looking forward to this under lights, a nighttime race. Hopefully the weather holds up. But the cool thing too is that they have been talking about potentially experimenting with rain tires on these short tracks on these cars, so they don't have to cancel the races. They could just run like they do on the road courses. So
Hey, I'm for whatever works and whatever keeps me staying up till 2 a.m. trying to figure out if we're gonna race or not.
okay.
So I'm all for it. All right, Megan. Thank you, and thank you everyone for listening. Like and subscribe to the comments below. And join the Discord on our Twitter handle at FSI_DFS. All right, see you guys.
Take care.